Let's get started with our march. I'm gonna turn my timer on. Oh, to come this year, yay! I feel like, yeah, I'm in for. I don't know how you guys are doing, but I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. I have a pretty good sleep schedule at the moment. Like, I've been sleeping enough. I've usually been asleep before midnight, usually like around 11:30ish. Last night I fell asleep at 11:30 and I woke up at 4 a.m. wide awake. So I stayed up for like 3 hours and drank coffee and like watched, there was actually news on that early. And then I fell asleep again for like an hour. So weird. But I got enough sleep, so even though it was all broken up. But I feel like once in a while that happens, like I'll just get a weird night where I have like a really screwed up sleep schedule and then it'll go back to normal. So I'm being kind to myself about that. I usually like to stick to a pretty like healthy sleep schedule, but what are you gonna do in times like this, right? Okay, let's bring it up to a jog if you can. Okay, cat, oh my gosh. I'm gonna bonk her in the head by accident if she keeps that up. So you don't have to bring your knees up yet. Just kind of to the back. Getting the blood going. Melissa, I'm gonna make you a co-host just in case we're back up. So I was telling for all you latecomers on Indian time, we're gonna do more strength workout today. So try to lift as heavy as you can without compromising your form for all the moves. If there's no weight involved, try to make the movement, try to do the most difficult version of the movement you can do without compromising your form. And I will show you variations of everything. Okay. Bring that jog down, widen your stance a little bit, and just lunge gently side to side. Track that knee over the toe. So even though we're doing strength workout, we're still gonna do circuits. So we're gonna basically do supersets. We're gonna do one superset and then a triset, which is 3 exercises. And then another superset. We're gonna do a lower upper superset, and then a lower upper and a core, and then a core superset. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I'll explain, I promise. Alrighty, feet together. Just gently twist side to side. We want to warm up our spine. So you don't have to count reps. I will be timing as usual. So do as many reps as you can within that circuit of time. I will let you know when the circuit's almost over and let you know what the next exercise is. Take rest whenever you need to. There are no set rest periods. You determine when you need to rest. So for those of you that are new, I think it would just be you, Jen. You basically go until you can't go anymore, and then you rest for as long as you need, and then you go again. You don't have to stop if I stop, not even during this warm-up either. Stop when you need to stop. All right, we're just gonna take it into a nice, easy body weight squat. And as usual, what I tell you is, I wish I could hear you all right now because some of you know the answer to this, I'm sure. If you cannot squat to parallel, which means your thigh is parallel to the floor, if you cannot get this low on your own, I want you to use a box. I want you to use a couch, ottoman, chair, whatever. Because I would rather you squat to parallel with help than do a quarter squat to here on your own and just be doing this or be doing this, which is not a squat at all. That's a good morning. And this is because when we squat, we want to incorporate our hamstrings, and our glutes. You can stop squatting for now. Because if you do not squat to parallel and you're only here, it's more quads that you're using, much more force and shear on your knees, and you can get mad knee injuries that way. And you need to build up this muscle because we do this all the time. We sit on the couch all the time. We sit in our chairs all the time. We sit on the toilet all the time, and you want to really work on strengthening these muscles so you can do that for the rest of your life safely. Okay, that's my squat disclaimer, which comes with every workout. All right, let's do some lunges. You can do forward lunges. These are technically the most difficult version of a lunge, unless you're doing like a deficit lunge, which we won't get into that. If the forward is too much, you can do a reverse, which is stepping backwards. You can always hang on to something when you're lunging. You can always hang on to something anytime, really. If you need help with balance, that's fine. It's not cheating. Whatever helps you get through the exercise without compromising your form. That's the most important thing. All right, take it back to a little bit of a jog. We're gonna do a quick push-up, 30-second push-up set, and another little jog, and then we will get started. So for push-ups, you're gonna need to know this later too. You can either do push-ups on the ground. You can put your knees down if that helps to make it easier. You can also do, if you wanna do them on your toes, you can do incline, which means lifting your torso. If you need a real super simple version, do them against the wall. That's the highest incline you can do. All right, let's do 30 seconds of a push-up warm-up. So once again, just doing as many as you can within the circuit here, even in this warm-up. Rest when you have to, and go again when you can. Even if that's only 2 reps and you gotta rest, that's fine. Okay, back up, and we're gonna go back to our jog. I'm realizing how much I match my rug right now, and my furniture. Rumor has it I might be getting some swag to wear for these. We'll see maybe what happens next week. Okay. All right, we are pretty warm. Grab some water. I'm just gonna set my other timer. Try not to break that coaster. Give you a few seconds here. Make sure all your weights are nearby. So this first circuit is gonna be a goblet squat, and a row. So with the goblet squat, you can, if you have like a dumbbell, you can hold it here, or a kettlebell, basically holding it front loaded, and you're just doing a squat. That's gonna be it. I haven't started the timer yet, so you don't have to go yet. If you have a pair of dumbbells that aren't quite that heavy, you can use both of them. You can either put them up here, front squat. You can hold them in front if you want, but that's probably super awkward. You can hold them to the side, but I'd rather you not because it can mess with your form. I'd rather you have them up here. If you only have a band, step on the band, hold it here, and you can do a band resisted squat this way. Or you can do that with your dumbbell also and make it even harder or heavier. Same thing here. If you cannot get to parallel on your own, use your box. Promise me that, okay? If you have your heavy bag, front load it here. And you want to be looking forwards. I'm only looking to the side so I can make sure that I'm on camera. All right. I am going to set up my timer. And go, front squat. Go as slow as you need to. You don't have to count reps. Do as many as you can until you need a break. And then stop and take your break. And join back in when you can, wherever we are in the circuit. The heavier weight you use, the more rest you're gonna need. And that's what I want to see. I want you resting because I want you using heavy weight today. So you'll see me resting a lot more. You can drop down and do a lighter weight after you do the heavier weight the first go, but you don't need to because it's not important to go the whole circuit. What we want to focus on is using heavy weight as much as we can. So if that means more rest, which is fine. The circuits are long today. They're about a minute long. We have about 15 minutes oh, no, we're done. Okay, next one is a row. You can either row this way with your heavy bag or your dumbbells or your band this way. All right, grab your weight, whatever you're using, and row. Go. So we want a nice flat back here. Elbows tucked in. Elbows are tight against your rib cage. Think of elbowing someone behind you. Back is about a 45-degree angle. Straight back. Do not arch your back. Do not round it too much. Neutral neck. Chin tucked. Looking at the ground about a foot or two in front of you. 15 more seconds left in this. Take a break whenever you need. Don't forget to breathe. Wow, Lenny is super active today. Okay, back to our squat. However you are loading your squat, gonna be about shoulder width apart with your feet, toes slightly turned out, usually 20 to 30 degrees. Make adjustments. Some people like them a little in, some people like them more out. Everyone's hips are different. There's no one way to squat. It all depends on how your hips were built. Because the hips are a ball and socket joint. They're not a hinge. Don't let anyone tell you there's only one way to squat. Also, don't let anyone tell you your knees can't go over your toes, because that is not true. You ever see Olympic lifters squat? 20 more seconds. You want to think of dropping that pelvis down and in between your legs. Pushing those knees out. Okay, back to your row. Elbows close to the sides of your body. Slide them against your rib cage. Slightly bent over. You can use a chair if you need to. You can use that with dumbbells. It's a little bit harder with the heavy bag, so I'm going to keep standing. Or you can use your band. If you have a band, you can also, if you have something high enough to attach it to, you can row with your band vertically this way. I mean horizontally. I know the difference, I promise. This is what we call a horizontal pull. You can either do it bent over or standing up. 17 seconds left in this. Take your rest whenever you need. Your tempo for your reps, the speed, go as slow or as fast as you can without compromising form. Okay, last squat. Keep those knees out. You don't want them caving in like that. You want them out. And activate those glutes. Use your box if you can't get that low. Stand up, sit down, stand up. You'd be surprised at how much you feel this, even though there's a couch underneath you. Just think, using your couch, how much easier and better you'll be at getting up off the couch when you need to go get more popcorn or M&Ms or carrots or whatever you're eating while you're watching Netflix. Also grab water whenever you need. We have 18 seconds left in this. Keep that load tight to the front of your body if you're holding it in front. Okay, last row. Elbows tight behind you. Think of elbowing that person who's trying to grab your toilet paper as you're walking down the street. Speaking of, I have a CVS on my corner, a food emporium, a Brooklyn Fair, all closed. Nobody has toilet paper. I am not a toilet paper hoarder. And I ran out and I had to go find some. And did any of the stores have any? Nope. So a good Samaritan in Dwayne Reed told me to go to Target. And I did, and Target saved the day. So if you're all in the same situation at some point, try to find your Target. 19 seconds left. I didn't think that day would come where I would be really cursing those hoarders. I hope none of you are them. I won't hold it against you, but just know if you are, how it can affect other people. Okay, our second circuit, we're gonna do a tricep actually. We're gonna do a sumo deadlift. So that's gonna be a wide sumo stance. You're gonna use your kettlebell, your dumbbells, whatever, your heavy bag. You can also use your band underneath your feet. And you're just gonna pull it up off the ground. So from the side, it's a hip hinge. So it's not a squat, it's in the hips. So nice flat back, not arched, not rounded, nice flat. Knees are bent, yes, but it's more in the hips and the glutes. Squeeze the glutes at the top. So if you're using the band, just put the band underneath. However, if yours is a loop like this, just do half, and you can resist this way. All right. Okay, we're gonna go now. Sumo deadlift. You can also do this with no weight. If it's too much for you, just do the hip hinge. And breathe out on the way up. In, out. We want a wide stance. We get more glutes that way. I do like to switch it up. I like a regular deadlift too, a conventional. But today we're doing sumo. Chin is tucked, neutral neck, looking at the floor a few feet in front of you. You're not looking at the wall across from you. You are looking down at the floor. 20 seconds. Take your rest whenever you need. Even if you're doing this with no weight, you're still going to feel it and you're still going to need to take a rest. There's no shame in resting. We want resting. Okay, next up we have a floor press. So you're going to lay down with your dumbbells or your heavy bag. It's like a bench press, just pushing it up. So get down and go. You want your elbows close to your body. You don't want your elbows way out here. You can also do this with the band if you don't have any weights. Put it underneath your body, and there's your resistance there. If you don't have heavy enough weight for this and you feel like you're not being challenged, you can do push-ups instead. 23 seconds left. Back is flat on the ground. Take that rest whenever you need. Okay, third exercise, we're going to do a single arm plank. So options, you can do this on the ground. Single arm is just lifting one up and holding. Couple seconds, going to the other one. Or you can put your arm back here. I kind of like this version better. If that's too hard, go at an incline, get on the couch. You can do that here. Or you can just drop to your knees and do a plank that way. Because what we're working on here is the core, but it's more of a anti-rotation kind of side oblique movement. So that's why we want to lift up one arm and then the other. So we're making sure our body is trying to counterbalance that. Okay, so get down and let's see your single arm plank. Hold it for a couple seconds. Other arm, make sure you alternate. You can also do knees on the couch, knees on the floor, but arms on the couch too. That makes it easier. Totally up to you. The higher your body is off the ground, the easier it is. Okay, back to our sumo deadlift. Go. Wide stance, hip hinge, hinging at the hips. Flat back, squeezing those glutes at the top. Your toes are going to be pointed out further than the squat, more like a 45-degree angle. Show you from the side here. So this you can do, if you have a dumbbell, you can put it upright and hold on to the top of it this way instead of the handle, if it's heavy enough. If it's not, you need to use 2 dumbbells, hold them side to side. Do this with no weight. Also, like I'm doing right now. 10 seconds left. And then after this, we're going to go back down to our floor press. Okay, back down to the floor press. Or your push-up. This bag is so awkward, this cat litter that's in here. Breathe in out on the push out. Breathe in down, out, up. You can make those breaths audible if it helps. Whew, gotta take my rest. Okay, about halfway through our little 1-minute floor press circuit. Smaller muscle group than the glutes we're working right now. We're working the chest, which is made up of a bunch of muscles, but not quite as big as your glutes. So most likely you're gonna have to take more rest than you did before, which is fine, which is what we want, right? 4 more seconds. All right. Single arm plank again, however you're doing it, off the floor, on your knees, up on the couch, on the wall even if you need, and go when you're ready. Couple seconds on one arm, and then the other, and go back and forth. Oh, a bead. My beads are all over the floor. Sucking that belly button in. So that back is not drooping. We don't want to be sagging down here and we don't want to be super high up. However, lifting your hips a little bit does make it easier. So if you need to do that, you can, but I prefer you be on your knees instead so you're more of a plank. Do the version, the hardest version you can do that suits your ability without compromising form. Whew. 8 more seconds, and then we'll do our last round of this circuit. Gonna fix my ponytail. Okay, back up to our sumo deadlift. So grab your dumbbell, your kettlebell, your heavy bag, and wide stance. And lift, hinge at the hips. This is not a squat, you're not down here. You're not doing this. Think of pushing your butt to the wall behind you on the way down. Squeezing your glutes at the top. Push your butt to the wall behind you. Keep a soft bend in the knees. When you're in this part of the movement, you should feel all this hamstring, glutes all stretched and activated. And then you contract to bring yourself up. 10 more seconds. Back to the floor. Last 4 press. And go when you're ready. You want a full range of motion here, so you want your elbows to be touching the ground on the way down, on the down part, the bottom of the movement. This bag is touching my chest. We don't want no half reps around here unless I tell you to do half reps, which will never happen unless we're doing 1.5 reps. Those are really hard. Those are rare though. But they are a way to make an exercise harder, like the goblet squat, for example. If you need to make that even harder, you could do a 1.5 rep, which means going down, halfway up, down again, all the way up, and that's 1 rep. Breathing out on the way up. My bag is so awkward. Okay, back to our single arm plank. So whether you're doing this version or this version on your knees, lifting one arm up, looking down at the floor, chin is tucked. Couple seconds on one side, couple seconds on the other. Working the whole body here. Belly button sucked in. Contract your legs, your glutes. You're gonna feel it in your shoulders and your lats. Take your break when you need. We have about 30 seconds left, and then we're gonna move on to our last circuit. Try to stay as square as you can to the floor. We don't want to come up too much this way. So if you find that you have to really come up here, take it to the knees so you can stay more square. Okay, I'm gonna grab a water. Okay, that's the end of that one. Our last circuit, 2 exercises, more core. We're gonna do a side plank, which is, let me move this. A plank on your side. So you're on your elbow and your toe or your feet. If you need to make it easier, go from your knees. That's fine. Stay square. Chest is out that way. We're not turning up. We're not turning down. We're square out that way. And then the second move is going to be hinge to side plank. This one's hard, you need balance, but I'll modify it for you. So you're basically gonna go side, front, side. Also, if you need to make it easier, on the knees. Okay? All right, so first we're just gonna do the side plank. So you're just holding it. Elbow, forearm, hand flat on your heels or sides of your feet and your heels. If that's too much, just go from your knees. And it's an isometric hold, which means you're holding it in place. The contraction is constant. There isn't a concentric or eccentric happening. Whew. Switch sides. I'm gonna go this way. So you can see straight line, chest forward. Hold it for as long as you can and take a break. Or like I said, you can go from your knees. Okay, next up we're gonna do hinge to side plank. So that means a regular plank to a side plank and back. Go when you're ready. Take this real slow. You can do this from your knees if you need to. Suck that belly button in. Protect that spine. Ooh. Forearms on the rug. Do not feel good. I need an exercise mat. We have a couple more seconds left. Okay, we're gonna go back to our first move, which is just the side plank. This is a lot of core. But like I always say, take your rest when you need. Side plank, go. Left side first, right side first, doesn't matter as long as you're always doing the same side first as you did the last time. Suck the belly button in. Keep that shoulder nice and tight and tucked in. Okay, switch sides. You can also do these on an incline, like against the couch. Something that's padded so your forearms aren't on a hard surface. Ooh, my rug is slipping. I better move. Don't forget to breathe. Ooh, okay. We are gonna move on to our hinge side plank. And then the thing you can do, this is gonna be difficult for me because I don't have anything to tie it to, but the hinge to side plank is essentially like an anti-rotation hold, which means your body is working to stay straight when there's like a force coming at it to try to turn it. So you could do that with a band, standing ideally, but kneeling is fine. And just holding the band out here. This is an anti-rotation hold or an isometric Pallof press. Also an option. Okay, let's go back to our regular side plank, or sorry, hinge to side plank. So front plank, side plank, front plank, side plank. Nice and slow. Suck that belly button in. Whew, okay, we're gonna do our last round of that superset. Back to our regular side plank, go. You can take breaks with this too, or you can just rest through the whole rest of the time also. You don't have to pop back up if you're tired. Which I am getting tired. 5 seconds left, and we're gonna switch sides. Okay, switch over to the other side. Chest is forward to the wall across from you. Hips are square. You're not turning up, you're not turning down. Do whatever you want with your hand. You can hold yourself up. No, just kidding, don't hold yourself up. Take your rest instead. Go from your knees if you need, 4 seconds left. And now we're gonna do our last hinge to side plank. Or if you have a band, you can do your anti-rotation hold, but do both sides. Do one this way and then flip over and do the other way. All right, front plank. Side plank. Don't flip all the way over. I did because I'm trying to watch the camera and the screen at the same time. And I'm gonna hang onto the couch for balance. It's difficult. Ugh. Couple more seconds. All right, that is it. That was a good one, okay. Oh, good time, so grab some water. Okay, I have no idea how any of you are doing since I can't see any of you, but that's okay because you don't have to turn your camera on. So your heart rate should be up a little bit, but it probably is not as crazy as when we did our circuit 2 days ago. So we do want to stretch out a little bit. We definitely want to stretch out the glutes, hamstrings, quads, the usual suspects. So let's get down on the ground and do our glute stretch. You can do this seated if you need. You can also hop off if you want to do your own stretches on your own, that's fine. I'll just go through mine. But definitely stretch out your hips. So one foot is crossed over the other knee, and you're gonna push this knee away from you. Or think about doing that, and while you pull this right leg towards you, your straight leg. Switch legs. Ooh. Whew. So if any of you are experiencing soreness, Epsom salt baths, like I always say, those do wonders. Hot baths anyways, if you don't have salt, that's fine too. Glutamine, if you have it laying around, or magnesium is good also for recovery. All right. I'm gonna do a hamstring stretch from the floor also. I'm just gonna grab my band because I like to use a little assistance since I don't have very flexible hamstrings. So I need help. So one leg up. You don't need a band though. You can just grab onto your calf or wherever, slight bend in the knee, and you're just pulling that foot towards you. Like, see, this is how flexible I am. This is as far as my leg goes. Although it's mostly hamstrings and I have very strong hamstrings and glutes, but they are very, the least flexible, which makes sense. I need to do more stretching with them. Whereas vice versa, my quads are more flexible. Switch legs. So it takes much more effort to feel, and everybody's like that. You're more flexible with some muscle groups than others and different joints. We should always be stretching. Stretch after your workout. You don't stretch before. You just do a nice warm up and mobility work before your workout, and then you do all your stretching after. All right, let's get up. Do a hamstring, hip flexor stretch. One knee up, one knee down, and just gently kind of lunge forward. You can hang on to something if you need. If you don't have anything near you, you can put your hands on the ground. Just let your pelvis sink down, feeling that stretch in the front of the hip. If you are up here, you can put your arm above your head and get your serratus anterior going. And switch legs. You should also feel it in this leg too, in your hamstring. All right, we'll stand up, do a quad stretch. Foot behind you, standing on one leg, shoulder down, shoulder blade back. Pull your heel towards your butt. Feeling the stretch in the front of the thigh, the quadriceps. So for me, this is because it's easier for me to stretch my quads. I really have to pull, and you don't want to be out here. You want to keep your knees together. Nice tight cylinder. Abs engaged, belly button tucked in. Switch legs, set them back. You see, I am in a straight line. Okay, stretch some shoulders nice and gently. One arm across the chest. Pulling, pushing with your hand. Getting that stretch in the back of the shoulder. Nice and gentle. Other one. And let's get the front of the chest and the shoulders. So lace your fingers behind you. Belly button in, ribs down. We don't want to be arched. Lift the hands up behind you. Feeling that stretch in the front of the shoulders and the chest. Also, if you have a wall near you, my favorite chest stretch is this one. Nice 90-degree angle. Forearm against the wall, and you just turn away. Feel that much deeper that way. Do it on the corner of the wall too, which actually works better. Bicep stretch. Hands out to the side, arms straight. Push the heels of your hands away from you. Fingers are pointing up. Shoulders down, shoulder blades back. Belly button in, ribs down. Slightly move your hands behind you. Very, very slightly. Feeling that in the biceps in here. Arms up, tricep stretch, one arm behind you, back here, taking this one, pulling it nice and gently, belly button in, ribs down. We don't need to be way out here like this. We want to be nice, tight cylinder. All day, every day, suck that belly button in, protect that spine. So now, when you go sit on the couch later today to watch your Netflix, or go to your Zoom meetings, think about that squat. Think about engaging those glutes and those hamstrings, activating them on the way down, activating them on the way up. Because those are what we call like micro workouts. When you do that through the day, it's just gonna only help you get stronger and stronger and stronger, and your muscles will atrophy at a lesser rate as you age. So thanks for joining me, everybody.